Traveler, aside from your memories that were just restored, I have another. Listen to it and you'll understand.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zeru's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them.
Traveler, you should be missing 2 days worth of memories. Paimon will fill you. It's time to carry out our plan from yesterday. Okay,
Take it easy.
Why can't we leave the...
Don't ask me.
I have a real emergency.
That's your problem.
But it's not like you can just predict business matters in advance.
It looks like the Academia already announced the lockdown for... Let's go and question them. Hello, sir. Why can't we leave the city?
Here we go again. Don't ask me. We just received an order that no one is allowed to enter or exit Sumeru today. They didn't tell us anything else. Angering me won't get you anywhere. If I had that kind of
It looks like he really doesn't know. If we can't get any... This is a good spot. And the guard has... Huh? Why? Are you going to leave Paimon behind? But... Oh... Paimon knows... Okay. Promise Paimon that you'll come back as soon... And please... Memories! Traveler! Paimon would never see you again. Paimon waited for you for hours and hours at the city wall and you never came back. You promised Paimon... Paimon, calm down. Paimon doesn't care. Paimon wanted to go look for you, but you also said that Paimon should stay. Paimon was so worried and so scared the entire day. Okay, Paimon, can you tell us? I see. After that, you left the city. Paimon kept her eyes on you the whole time, but then you disappeared in an instant. No way! Paimon! What's your perspective, Traveler? You sure you don't have... I guess that explains everything. You also lost your... So, if we leave the city, our memory really... But this way, we'll also never discover what's outside. Something like a message? Don't look at me like that. I'm not used to being... Well... Yep! I'm done. Here you go. What? You need some wood to make something? Yep. I'll help you save the messages. We'll never know until we try. Let's go then. Let's okay. That covers everything that's happened so far. Yes. Although the signal was choppy and had some interference, we still managed to Okay, now that you understand what's going on,
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zeru's festival in Sumeru City. I've entered another space. Before me are flowing sandstone and howling fish. All these spaces are empty except for the occasional ones that contain mute puppets rather than people.
That's one heck of an info dump. It sounds like you left the Sumeru city space when you said... But Everything looked completely normal when Paimon was looking out from the inside. There's another part here.
These spaces have been disappearing one after the other, absorbed by something like a sun in the... And now, even the final space. Behind me, a lot of spaces just appeared again from thin air. I get it now! Those spaces are actually...
Why did the... Probably because yesterday just happened to end at that moment. Oh, right. Paimon did hear a beep from the Akasha. Did it come from here or from the message? The message. It should have come from the Traveler's Akasha terminal. After the beep, Traveler said, even the final... Traveler, what do you think that final space could have been?
Was that space actually the real world? But wouldn't a real space just randomly disappearing like that be... Was that space actually the real world? But wouldn't a real My impression is that each day in this samsara only ends at the sound of that beep from the Akasha.
Oh, so that's what it is! After the sound of the beep, the final space, that later on, Traveler also mentioned a bunch of new spaces materializing behind them. Dude, Lost Paimon's head is spinning. Well, consider this. For all the horrors of the Archon War, at its heart, it was just a game where a bunch of gods fought over 7 seats. So no matter how strange or spooky things may look on the surface, maybe all they point to in the end is a small and simple secret. Wow, the Archon War, huh? Hey! Where... Do you want some alone time to think? Alright then, Paimon won't
The dance of Sub-Zeros is about to begin. I'm going to go watch it.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead, Dunyarzad? We still have some other stuff to do first.
Okay then. See you later.
Have you figured it out yet, Traveler? Time is ticking away! Awesome! What is it? Paimon wants to know! Oh. You're back! I've been waiting forever. Are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's exam? Okay.
People in Sumeru don't dream. The moon, illusions. Okay, Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis. That doesn't sound right. We've already experienced the Sub-Zeru's festival many times. All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common: a lack of human presence. Those spaces remind me of... dreams. Like the one I had in the Avidia Forest. Except these have no sign of human. That doesn't sound right. We are all in a dream. It isn't that the people of Sumeru don't dream. Rather, the Akasha is taking their dreams from them.
People in Sumeru think they don't dream, but the truth is the Akasha steals their dreams without them knowing it. And those spaces with no human presence are stolen dreams without their host. That would explain why they sounded so weird when he was trying to describe them. Huh. So people in Sumeru do dream after all. In fact, correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that the Akasha... The Akasha relies on the power of an...
That doesn't sound right.
It compiles the wisdom of the...
That doesn't sound...
It is the manifestation... Oh, okay. Those dream-controlling creatures in the forest also get their power from the Dendro Archon, right? That would explain why the Akasha has the ability to... But is stealing everyone's dreams really how the Akasha compiles... Dreams are fantastical, complex, and full of imagination. People's brains are the most active when they're dreaming. In other words, dreams are rich bundles of human wisdom. So, in other words, the complete opposite of how Hypatia understood it. Paimon remembers her saying that the sages think dreams are foolish delusions, and the fact that no one dreams is a blessing from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. The real story is that the sages from the Academia are using the Akasha to steal people's dreams for their own use, huh? Oh? By the sounds of it, you understand the current situation pretty well. So then, what about the samsara?
The Grand Sage said, "Go celebrate the birth of that god to your heart's content." That doesn't sound right. The beep is a prompt tone for Akasha operations. We still hear it every night. That doesn't sound... We've already That doesn't sound... Those spaces kept disappearing before my eyes. Those dreamscapes kept vanishing. But as soon as that beep sounded, more new spaces...
Correct. The Akasha is keeping each person's brain in a constant dream state, but also separating their consciousness from their own dream. Their disembodied consciousness is placed inside the collective dream of the Sub-Zero's festival along with everyone else's, while their now vacant dreams are... No one is any the wiser as another day passes in the dream, and so people wake up to yet another dream about the Sub-Zero's festival. So, this is like a dream factory, and the Akasha is... Very good, Paimon. Using analogies well is an excellent... Okay, so that beep we keep hearing is actually from our real-life Akasha terminals. Taking off our terminals in this dream doesn't do it... Alright, last question. Who am I?
They say that alchemical divination is the Dendro Archon's divine revelation. So then, if Nahi...
So you noticed. I thought that one would be the hardest question. That wasn't hard at all. Even Paimon guessed that. Everything about you is... Now that you mention it, Nahida, you've been hinting to us since the very It's funny. Thinking back to when we were asking all over the place for info about Lesser Lord Kusanali. Paimon didn't expect to meet you like this. Yes, those can wait until we're back. On the other hand, I'd be happy to answer any more questions you have about here and now. You asked me this question before. My answer was, it would literally... Now that you know this is all a dream, this answer should hopefully... Have you heard the saying, don't wake a sleepwalker? Likewise, if someone suddenly had told you all this instead of you learning it on your own, your notion of reality and dream would be thrown into irreversible confusion. I couldn't expose you to that. That's why I could only give you very subtle hints and some suggestions. I know, right? Why did they have to base this dream on my birthday? Could it... Even you don't know the reason? Wow. The Academia sages are determined to harvest lots of dreams in a short time, no matter the cost. They have to be up to no good. Traveler, do you...
Okay, Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the god... That doesn't sound right. The Grand Sage said, go...
Celebrate the birth of that god? Could it mean... Firstly, this dream. Secondly, that's because people don't remember. So whenever they wake up in this dream of the Sabzeruz festival, they don't remember anything from their previous identical dream.
That reminds Paimon. Traveler had a dream when we were in the Avidia forest, but couldn't see what it was about after waking up. Is that an example of what you mean?
Yes. Only after receiving the blessing of Dendro can a person gain the Dendro element's dream-enhancing power. That explains the feelings of déjà vu. Meanwhile, everyone else has no idea that they are in the Sabzeruz, deceiving the people of Sumeru with no regard for their safety. No matter what they're trying to do, this is after we end the Sabzeruz festival.
How can the sages of the Academia do this behind their Archon's back? This is...
In the end, I'm just the moon. The real sun is long gone.
A sun and a moon? Oh, we're out of time today!
I'll tell you how to break free of the samsara tomorrow. See you then.
Good morning, Nahida. Wait. Now that Paim... Hey! What's wrong, Nahida?
I'm afraid that what you're thinking right now is correct.
Did Dunyarzad already disappear? No way!
The real Dunyarzad's consciousness has indeed disappeared. It can no longer endure the constant dream harvesting.
Paimon can't believe it! Wait, so what...
She's actually something like a puppet, but not completely. The real Dunyarzad's consciousness could no longer keep playing her role in this dream. So another Dunyarzad appeared to replace her in the dream. Just like the grass and the trees, that
But personality-wise, she's nothing like the...
Puppets are stiff, and can't copy a living person's vitality. You know, speaking of which, the old Dunyarzad might not have been too different from a puppet.
Dunyarzad truly believed that she met you within her consciousness, and it was you who inspired...
Yes. Back then, her family was overly protective of her. No one cared about her personality. I just gave her a little wisdom so she could look at life in a new way. So that she could be her own person. But even so, she's still far from it. I'm still a long way off from being a real Archon. I couldn't even save her. If I were a competent Archon, I wouldn't have let my most faithful follower die at the
Please don't beat yourself up over it, Nahida.
I'm not...
Don't be like that, Nahida.
To prevent more tragedies like this.
Great, but...
Although the Sabzeruz Festival dream is under the Akasha's control, only humans can dream. That means this dream belongs to a host.
Huh? So,
Well, if this is someone's dream, then everything here must come from, which means, with the power of imagination, they can change.
imagination?
Imagination means breaking through what you perceive, like when the server at the tavern brings up. However, if you're the dream's host and you become aware that you're dreaming, the dream will respond in kind. But right now, our host is unaware that this is a dream. No matter how many times they're served, find some way to make that person realize that they're dreaming.
How are we going to find them, though? And even if we did find them, how are we supposed, after all, like you said? Don't wake us.
It's extremely difficult, yes. But the only ones who can, as for me, they're
Out of town? Are you going to that place full of dreams where the
Yes. I want to try something. Hurry and go.
She was such a good person. Yeah. Saving Dunyarzad is what kept us going this whole... But we mustn't lose hope, Trap. Paimon's wondering, do you think the sages would get one of their own to be the host of this stream? Feels like it would be easier to control... Huh. That's true. So, who do you think the host of the dream is? Oh, that would make sense. Let's go at...
You're back. You left in a hurry last time. Is
Everything's fine. Just, it's a little hard to explain.
an experiment? That came out of nowhere.
Could you make a wish?
You want me to make a wish? Is that a new Sub-Zero?
Less questions, more wishes!
Okay. My wish. Okay. I'm a little nervous saying this out loud, but I want Miss Dunyarzad to be happy.
Oh,
I noticed earlier that she looked a bit down, and she wasn't really talking to anyone. She just doesn't seem like herself. She's always so gentle and kind, and all the kids love her. I've also wondered if the reason she asked me to be Fairest Knight of Flowers is because I'm special to her, or something.
so you have a crush on Dunyarzad?
Oh, is it that obvious? After what I just said, I guess it is. When she placed the hat of the Knight of Flowers onto my head, she said to me, what she didn't realize was that I'm not that interested in how everyone else feels. In that moment, I just wanted to be her Knight of Flowers for the rest of my life. Okay, yeah, that was a bit much. Okay, I'm ready to make my wish. I would like Miss Dunyarzad to appear in front of me right now with a smile on her face. Here goes.
Please come true.
I'm gonna open my eyes. Oh!
What?
Fucky? Sorry, but only one portion of Yelda candies per person. Back? Nice try, you two.
Guess he isn't the host of this stream after all. Should have expected it wouldn't be this easy. It seems like everyone who knows Dunyarzad loves...
My lady, step back.
That sounds like Dia! Oh, right. Huh? But Dia can handle them! Hey, Traveler!
Oh, it's you. Great timing. Please take... Hey, this is my job. The homie Yanni's pay me, not you. You... fine, alright. Anyway, watch yourself.
So you got yourself some...
Take it easy. Torn to oblivion!
You've won this one. Take my...
Busted.
Traveler, were you just taking your anger out on those guys? You and Nahida both. Dunyarzad... Oh, and speaking of her, remember how during the first Sub-Zero's festival, before the Samsara started, we came here with... She said it was because she had forgotten something. Okay, so Paimon's memory is working so far. Anyway, Paimon also remembers that she is staying... Yeah. This is the place. It's rude to enter other people's spaces. Hey, the windows are unlocked. Okay, Paimon's gonna take a... This was only a temporary residence, so there was pretty much nothing in... Should we open it? Wow. Dunyarzad wrote all of this, even though she was also busy preparing for the... She must have wanted to give this to us as a gift. If we hadn't found this book, we never would have... But now that we know, we can't even thank her. Hey! Where are you up? It's Dunyarzad's puppet. Traveler? You must be exhausted. Come to think of it, we've been stuck in this place for a really, really long time. Heck, even the last time we were chatting happily with Dunyarzad feels like an eternity ago. Paimon still remembers when we were sitting here. And the way her eyes sparkled when she talked about Nilu's dance of
There will always be frustrations in life, but I know that the point of living is not to leave behind any regrets.
That was what the real Dunyarzad said, wasn't it? Does that mean...
Yes, Traveler. Would it...
Oh, so she's still just a puppet. But just now, how come... What? Where are we going this time?
If you continue to resist, we will have to order an investigation into every single event organizer. The Grand Sage has already granted you much leniency.
Traveler? You don't have to get involved.
Traveler?
Traveler? What the heck are you doing? If you get arrested by the Wait, they're not reacting. Have they been scared stiff? Oh, of course! If this is the Sage's plan, they wouldn't put themselves through this. So they're just substitute.
What is this? What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage? Like I said, they symbolize the goddess of flowers. It's just a shame that all the real...
Yes. The Greater Lord brought forth new Patisaras in memory of the goddess of flowers. But she ultimately could never truly replicate that beautiful...
That beautiful shade of purple. Aren't these flowers real Patisaras? Just like the ones from the legend?
But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the goddess of flowers?
Yeah. What's going on here? Huh? You guys are acting...
Hey! They disappeared! So Nilu's the host. Purple Patisaras don't exist in the real world anymore. But in Nilu's subconscious, it's just like the example Nahida told. So when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew it was Nilu? But if we want to end the samsara, we need the host to become a... How should we make Nilu?
Am I dreaming?
Huh?
So I'm right. Is this Lesser Lord Kusanali responding to our
Wrong guess, but you aren't completely wrong either. The point is, what made you think this is as far as you know, people in Sumeru don't...
Yeah, but have you heard the tale of the first sage? To prevent a calamity, he went on a journey to find the Dendro Archon.
Ooh, sounds familiar. Dunyarzad told us a story like that when we first arrived in Sumeru City. So...
Yep, but in the part you heard, he hadn't become the first sage yet. There's more to the story. His piety and wisdom were acknowledged by the Dendro Archon, and she finally gave her blessing to him. All kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage, as if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated. After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could Afterward, he said to the Dendro Archon, "I miss my parents, my wife, and my children. I've been away from home for far too long. They must be worried." The Dendro Archon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself lying in his bed, as if he had just... His wife, lying next to him, said, "You're off to search for the Dendro Archon today, aren't you?" In the end, The first sage took care of many disasters in Sumeru City and founded the academia.
So, the first sage was dreaming ever since the beginning of the story? He never went to—
Yes, but his faith and determination were conveyed to the Dendro Archon, so she
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's a really—
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sub-Zero's festival is almost over. Since we're in a dream, let's make this final dance of Sub-Zero's as beautiful as we can. The wait is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the Dance of Sub-Zero's.
I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilou's dance.
Good morning, traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep. Paimon's head feels super heavy. Paimon thinks it. The Sub-Zeros! Have we finally escaped from the Sub-Zeros? Quick! Take off your Akasha terminal! She's not in her room. What happened? Huh? What?
Well done, traveler. And thank you, Dunyarzad, for organizing the Sub-Zero's festival for me.
I'm sorry, who are...
Dunyarzad! You're okay! Oh, don't scare us!
Oh, Traveler Paimon. I have something. I just had a dream. And I saw Nilou performing the dance.
You're actually Nahida, aren't you? Paimon felt like Catherine was acting weird when we met at the Sub-Zero's festival. And Dunyarzad, did you save her?
It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened. Let's chat somewhere else.
Dunyarzad first.
After we parted on the last day of the Sub-Zero's festival, I left the city and saw what the traveler had described. Among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. This proved once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But this also meant it escaped the Akasha's control. Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. It will return to its original dream, where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible. But it still wouldn't have lasted for much longer if it hadn't been for you.
So it looks like we did manage to save Dunyarzad in the end. Not a moment.
Huh? Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying.
Both are fine. Everyone reacts differently.
All right. You two must have a lot of other questions for me, right? After all, you say
At the Avidia Forest, there was this incense that made the trap.
you also heard someone's voice, right? It said world and forget me.
Yeah, so you do know. We've been wanting to ask you what that was about. And if the red sky...
It seems like the traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul. Perhaps, as you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Conria. The timings of these events do line up, so your suspicions are...
A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? We thought it was from the Scarlet...
The Scarlet King? That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert dwellers still worship him. You probably just heard some of their conspiracies.
Okay, so what does the message mean?
I still haven't managed to decipher it. Even the Akasha isn't currently capable of doing that. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated with something that has a very dangerous aura to it. Many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. I've warned the academia about this many times, but people still keep... But I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul. That's why
So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, Tainari also said that Irminsul is sick! Is it because of the But even if you can't figure out what that vision was all about...
The traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never seen anyone like that. No, we must decipher its secrets. I've already eliminated all other factors that this puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine to be accurate. I'm using the Akasha as a medium to occupy Catherine's consciousness.
How did you do that? Poor Catherine.
Theoretically, I can enter anyone's mind as long as they're wearing their Akasha. The Akasha is the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. As Lesser Lord Kusanali and the first Akasha terminal, my consciousness has always been linked to the Akasha. I've always respected my people's free will, so I've never actually occupied their consciousness. When necessary, I just borrow this bionic Snezhnayan puppet.
Hold on. Did we just learn some deep, dark secret? So Catherine is... No wonder Paimon felt something was off. What about your own body? Why do you need to borrow other people's? Don't you live...
That story begins a long time ago. After Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared, the sages found my newly born self and took me back to... At that time, I was young and weak. The sages kept me in the sanctuary of Suristhana, ostensibly for the sake of protecting me. But I've hardly heard from them since. However, I do understand that they had hoped to find Greater Lord Rukkhadevata instead of me.
So, the sages basically put their new Archon under house arrest? How dare they!
In some ways, they aren't wrong. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was omniscient and omnipotent. Even after... And I'm still really far away from being able to call myself the God of Wisdom.
Yeah, you got a lot of believers. Just look at the Sub-Zero.
Thank you for the kind words. But I honestly don't need physical freedom. Trying to find a way to save Irminsul is my life's mission and top priority. I will work on that, and try to live up to every once in a while. I will also take up the duties of the God of Wisdom, and enlighten a lost soul here and there. So got it. I hope my answers... to be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream took a lot of mental energy. Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the Sage's activities for now. The Akasha won't be able to conduct another project on the scale of the Sub-Zero Samsara. And
Go and get some sleep.
what a relief.
Traveler? Paimon? Why am I here? Do either of you know?
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know you can't wake up a sleepwalker. We happen...
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime. Oh,
We spent quite some time in Sumeru City, but ever since we last said goodbye to Lesser Lord Kusanali, we haven't heard anything from her.
navigating the world is a whole lot easier.
We can't...
This run. Need me to come up with some for you?